Good morning, dear children. Welcome back. In today's session, we are going to learn Class 7, Term 2, Unit 2 in Geography, Tourism, Part 4. Come, children, let us learn. Dears, before going into today's session, let us have a recap of what we learned in the last session. We learned about the introduction of tourism. We learned that tourism is derived from an old English word, taurian, which refers to a person who travels out of his usual environment for not more than 1 year and less than 24 hours. The purpose could be religious, recreation, business, historical, and cultural. We learned about the basic components of tourism: attraction, accessibility, amenities. Attraction could be natural or cultural. Natural attraction includes landscape, seascape, beaches, climatic conditions, and forests. Cultural attraction could be historic monuments, intellectual creations, fairs, and festivals. Accessibility means reachability to a particular place of attraction through various means of transport like road, rail, water, and air. The amenities are the facilities that cater to the needs of a tourist. We also learned about the types of tourism like religious tourism, wherein people travel individually or in groups for pilgrimage to a religious location like a temple, church, mosque, or other religious places. Historical tourism, focusing on visiting historically important places like museums, monuments, archaeological areas, forts, temples. Ecotourism involves travel to destinations where plants and animals thrive in a naturally preserved environment. Adventure tourism is a type of tourism involving travel to remote or exotic places in order to take part in physically challenging outdoor activities. Recreational tourism aims at enjoyment, amusement, or pleasure, and it is done mainly for fun activity like waterfalls, hill stations, beaches, amusement park, etc. We also learned about the basic elements of tourism attraction like pleasant weather, scenic beauty, historical and cultural monuments. Dears, the geographical component of tourism are landforms, water, vegetation, climate, animal life, settlement features, and culture. We also learned about the religious tourism places in India: Rameshwaram and Kanchipuram in Tamilnadu, Varanasi and Sarnath in Uttar Pradesh, Vaishnava Devi Temple in Jammu and Kashmir, and also the Montessaries of Ladakh, St. Francis Xavier Cathedral in Goa, and the Golden Temple in Amritsar, Punjab. The various beautiful hill stations in India are Kodaikanal and Ooty in Tamil Nadu, Nainital and Mussoorie in Uttarakhand, Darjeeling in West Bengal, Gulmarg in Jammu and Kashmir, Shillong in Meghalaya, Shimla and Manali in Himachal Pradesh, Munnar in Kerala, and Gangtok in Sikkim. Dear children, in this session we will discuss about the waterfalls, wildlife, and beaches in India. Dears, in India, there are many spectacular and wonderful waterfalls covered by dense forest, huge walls of rock, and lush green trees. You can find a variety of waterfalls in India with varied topography. Among these waterfalls, some are seasonal while some are perennial. Seasonal, Seasonal. Seasonal waterfalls are which are active during a particular season like rainy season or monsoon season. And a perennial waterfall is one in which water is available throughout the year. Perennial, Perennial, perennial. A few of amazing waterfalls are in swing during the monsoon season. You can find a few waterfalls propping up during the monsoon season. This season brings a lot of tourists to these bubbling waterfall sites. When the waterfalls is active, there is plenty of tourists visiting those places. Dear children, let us learn about some of the notable waterfalls in India. Let us learn about the Thaliyar waterfalls, that is a horsetail type located in Dindigul district of Tamil Nadu. It is located in the lush green slopes of Palani hill ranges in the Dindigul district. Dear, the jog waterfall is a segmented waterfall. A segmented waterfall is one in which one waterfall becomes two or more. When that happens, it is called as a segment waterfall. A segmented waterfall occurs when water finds more than one course along its downhill journey, forming distinct flow of water. Raja, Rani and Thunder, located in Shimoga district of Karnataka. The tallest plunge type of waterfall situated in the East Khasi district of Meghalaya is the No Kalikai waterfalls. No Kalikai. It is located near Cherrapunji, one of the wettest places on earth, with a height of 1115 feet. Dear children, the Talakona waterfalls is the highest waterfall in Andhra Pradesh. It passes through a lot of medicinal herbs and it is found to be of medicinal value. The waterfalls is located in Sri Venkateshwara National Park and you can spot tiger, jackal, panther, spotted deer, bonnet monkey, sloth bear, etc. Children, do you know we have a Niagara Falls in India? Yes, it is called as Niagara Falls, Niagara of India. That is the Adirampalli waterfalls, which is located in Thrissur district of Kerala. The pilgrims who visit the Ayyappan temple during the Mandala season, that is the Margali season, often visit the Adirampalli falls on their way back. The Adirampalli falls in the southern state of Kerala in India is called the Niagara of India, even though its 80-foot vertical drop is half of that of Niagara. Situated at the entrance of the Sholaya ranges, the Adirampalli Falls joins the Chalakudi River after plummeting 80 feet. The water begins with a smooth, noiseless nosedive and then crashes downwards over gorges and protruding trees. Lush with natural vegetation, the area surrounding the waterfall is a real treat for the eyes during monsoons. The falls is backdrop of many scenes of big hits like Bahubali, Dil Se, Punnagai Mannan. It is the largest waterfall in Kerala with 80 feet height. The very sight of this waterfall refreshes and rejuvenates the onlooker's body and soul. The Adirampalli Falls joins the Chalakudi River after crashing down from an altitude of 24 meters from sea level. Dear children, having learnt about the falls in India, let us learn about the wildlife and bird sanctuaries. India possesses a wide range of forests and grasslands. You know, children, a forest is a piece of land with many trees. And we depend on forests for our survival, from the air we breathe to the wood we use. It is providing habitats for animals and livelihood for humans. It prevents soil erosion and mitigate the climate change. Grassland are expanses of lands covered with vegetation, majorly composed of grasses. And it includes plants like millets, rice, wheat, ryegrass, bamboos, sugarcane, etc. You can find grasslands across North India, Central India, some regions in Gujarat and Ghat. It can be found around river plains like Indo-Gangetic and the Brahmaputra plains in the north, Narmada plain in Gujarat and so on. Children, you know grasses are food to insects, reptiles, grazing animals, birds, rodents, and of course to humans in the forms of crops. So India possesses a wide range of forests. There are a number of forests as well as grasslands in India. Diversity of these lands make it one of the hot spot for flora and fauna. You know children, the animals that live and the birds and the plants that grow. It is very important to be diverse. The dense and dark forests in Indian states provide suitable habitat for a wide and an unique variety of animals and birds. You can find a wide variety as well as a unique variety. The animals and birds cannot be found elsewhere in the world. You can find Royal Bengal tigers, Indian lions, elephants, rhinoceros, Indian leopards and reptiles are all the major tourist attractions. On the picture, you can find the Royal Bengal tiger, Indian lions, Indian elephants, and leopards, which are exotic Indian wildlife. Children, let us learn about the various wildlife sanctuaries in India. Mudumalai Wildlife Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu, animals like tiger, elephant, bison, and deer thrive there. In Kaziranga National Park in Assam, you have tiger, deer, and buffalo. The Ranthambore National Park in Rajasthan, the main animal that is being taken care of there is the tiger. Kanha National Park in Madhya Pradesh, swamp deer is having a sanctuary. Sundarbans National Park in West Bengal, Bengal tiger is getting cared. In Gir National Park in Gujarat, lions are being taken care of. The Bhadra National Park, Wildlife Sanctuary and National Park in Karnataka, bison, leopard and gaur are being taken care of. Periyar National Park in Kerala, you can find elephants and deer. Corbett National Park in Uttarakhand, tiger is getting cared. Dear children, that is the oldest national park in India which was established in 1936. Dears, on the map you can find the important wildlife sanctuaries in India. Children, what you find on the screen is that of Mudumalai Wildlife Sanctuary. The Tiger Reserve is located in the Nilgiri district of Tamil Nadu state, spread over 321 square kilometers at the tri-junction of three states, that is Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. And it plays a unique role by forming parts of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, the first biosphere reserve in India, declared during 1986. Mudumalai means the ancient hills, is a scenic forest land situated amidst the picturesque mountains of the Nilgiri range. It is mainly famous for the Mudumalai National Park and Wildlife Sanctuary and also the Mudumalai Tiger Reserve Center. The area is also termed as Mudumalai Tiger Reserve due to the presence of around 48 tigers in the Nilgiri Reserve, across which tigers are free to roam. In April 2007, the Tamil Nadu government declared Mudumalai as a tiger reserve. It is an important wildlife habitat due to its strategic position as a wildlife corridor between several other protected areas, making it an essential part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. This protected area is an ideal home to several endangered and vulnerable species, nestling Indian elephant, Bengal tiger, gaur and Indian leopard. The major animals of Mudumalai parks are elephant, banner, gaur, tigers, leopards, common langur, chital, sloth bear, panther, python, four-horned antelope, barking deer, and mongoose. Now let us learn about the bird sanctuaries. Children, do you know what is a bird sanctuary? Yes, that is right. It is an area of land in which birds are protected and encouraged to breed. The Kumaragam Bird Sanctuary on the banks of Vemanad Lake is often called as a Vemanad Bird Sanctuary. It is providing shelter to a variety of migratory birds. It came into being in 1847 and is the first bird sanctuary in India. Do you know, children, India is a winter home for most of the Siberian birds like the Siberian cranes and greater flamingos, and also numerous species of birds from other regions of the world. These beautiful birds migrate to India every year during the winter and summer season for food, breeding and nesting. Around 229 birds migrate to the subcontinent each year during winter and 26 during the summer. And children, a bird's beak helps contribute to its navigatory ability. The beaks help bird determine the exact position. Some researchers feel that a bird can smell its way across a flyway. This olfactory map would orient a bird to terrain and topography. Children, bird sanctuaries attract attention for their exclusive variety of birds. That is, there are a variety of birds which can be observed in a bird sanctuary. Diverse range of climate of India invite birds from remote places to feed, breed and to nurture their young ones in the Indian bird sanctuaries. Children, you can find the list of bird sanctuaries in India. The Kudangulam Bird Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu, Kumaragam Bird Sanctuary in Kerala, Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary in Rajasthan, Mayani Bird Sanctuary in Maharashtra, Uppalapada Bird Sanctuary in Andhra Pradesh, Nal Sarovar Bird Sanctuary in Gujarat, and Nawabganj Bird Sanctuary in Uttar Pradesh are the important ones. Children, now let us learn about the beaches in India. India is a country with 7,517 kilometer long coastline comprising the most beautiful beaches bounded by the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. Dears, the Indian beaches are enriched with diverse coastland forms filled with aquatic flora and fauna. There are different marine animals, marine life in our oceans. The lush backwaters in the lagoons of Kerala. Now you'll be wondering, what is a backwater? The place is called backwaters because the lake water is actually fresh river water that comes down from the river and is then used for the paddy fields whenever the need be, and later the lake water as it goes ahead merges with the ocean. Not only that, children, the picturesque beaches of Goa such as the Calangute and Aguda are notable tourist destinations for water sports activities. You can do scuba diving, snorkeling, sunset backwater, kayaking, flyboard, parasailing, bumper ride, jet ski, banana boat race, and so on. The list is endless. Children, now let us learn about the important beaches in India. The Dhanushkodi in Tamil Nadu is beautiful feature is the turquoise blue sea water. In Kerala, you have the Varkala beach with sea cliffs for wonderful sunset views. The Tarkarli beach in Maharashtra is famous for its coral reefs and marine adventure. In Karnataka, you have the Om beach where you have two semicircular caves that join together forming the inverted symbol of Om. The Aguda beach in Goa, a huge hill dominates the southern side of the beach. The Marari beach in Kerala is a saddle-like rock, that is a hammock beach. The pictures of the important beaches are given there. You can see there Dhanushkodi, the Varkala beach, the Tarkarli beach in Maharashtra, Om beach and Aguda beach. Children, in tourism there are two factors. One is the push factor, other one is the pull factor. The push factor in tourism are prestige. You are visiting a place because it is costly or because you can afford to visit. So that is a prestige issue. Next is a pull factor. What pulls people to a particular place is its amenities, what the facilities the place is providing. So these are the two factors that affect the tourism. Before winding up the session, let us have a recap of what we learned here. Children, we learned about the waterfalls. India, there are many spectacular and wonderful waterfalls covered with dense forest, huge walls of rock and lush green trees. These waterfalls, some are perennial, some are seasonal, and some are available during the monsoon season. India has a number of wildlife sanctuaries and bird sanctuaries. The wildlife sanctuaries, the important ones are Mudumalai Wildlife Sanctuary, Kaziranga, Ranatambur, Kanha National Park, Gir National Park, and so on. The Kudangulam Bird Sanctuary, Kumaragam Bird Sanctuary, Bharatpur Bird Sanctuary are the important bird sanctuaries in India. India is a country with 7,517 kilometers long coastline comprising the most beautiful beaches bounded by the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. You have the turquoise blue water of the Dhanushkodi and the sea cliffs for wonderful sunset view at the Varkala, coral reefs and marine adventure in the Tarkarli beach in Maharashtra, the Om beach, Aguda beach, sea activities like the scuba diving, snorkeling, flyboarding and so on. Dear children, in the next session we will discuss about the tourist attractions in Tamil Nadu. Worksheet number 4. Fill in the blanks. The second largest urban beach is dash. The second largest urban beach is dash. Kutralam Waterfalls is located in Dash district. The Kutralam Waterfalls is located in the Dash district. Roman number 2, answer the following. Write the names of any 5 beaches in India. Write the names of any 5 beaches in India. Name any 5 hill stations in India. Name any 5 hill stations in India. That's all for today's session, my dear children. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe our YouTube channel for more videos and book back solutions. youtube.com/Samacheer Kalvi Guide. Thank you.